right? Some context first, why it happens, right? People think that eSign is a very simple integration that you do to your paperwork process, right? You just take an eSign API, do an integration of this simple tool into your paperwork process, and boom, you're ready to go. It's two smooth pieces in a jigsaw puzzle. But this is not true, right? Reality is a lot more complicated than that. The typical eSign implementation process, especially for high volume rural use cases, often looks like what we're showing you on screen, right? You conduct a months long evaluation of eSign software with great excitement. You onboard it, you perform testing and integration in a few settings, and then you do a scaled limited go live in a few branches. And then 6 months later, you are stuck where you started, right? You're unable to actually scale up. People on the ground in your branches are still using the physical flow, they're not using the digital flow. You are basically largely still default paper, right? We assume that you are attending this webinar because you don't like this scenario on screen or have some experience with this scenario on screen. You actually want to ensure that when you switch, that your default becomes digital and paper is the exception. So people, when they come to legality for rural lending use cases, they've usually tried a simple eSign process before and they failed like the scenario on the past screen. And speaking with them over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, we've identified 7 failure scenarios that they faced in their previous implementations that we worked with them to solve. So there's three broad buckets, seven across three broad buckets. One is where the eSign flow fails on a fundamental technical level, like where the tech itself prevents it from being used. There's 3 points under this. The second bucket is where the flow is working technically, but does not actually work practically on the ground, right? Two reasons are because, say, Aadhaar eSign is not possible. And third reason is that modern eSign interfaces are in English. And the final bucket, the flow safety and security. When companies switch to a digital process, they often find fraud does increase, right? We'll show you how to prevent that in your